We begin this half hour of your morning news at the White House, where President Donald Trump signs a new executive order to dismantle the Department of Education.
Achieving a longtime goal of Republicans to send many of the agency's services back to the states. But as our Evan Kozlov reports, opponents are already pledging to challenge the order in court.
With the stroke of a pen, President Donald Trump acted on a campaign promise to dismantle the Department of Education.
This is a very popular thing to do, but much more importantly, it's a common sense thing to do.
The executive order dramatically shrinks the agency and limits its power, although it stops short of fully closing the department, which President Trump acknowledged would take an act of Congress. The agency currently employs over 4,000 people and has an annual budget of over $250 billion, although most of that money is simply passed on to local school districts. President Trump said on Thursday that services like Pell Grants, Title I funding, and resources for children with special needs won't be affected.
He's anxious for me to fire myself.
Education Secretary Linda McMahon spoke with Spectrum News at the White House Thursday night and said this was all about bringing education back to the states.
The funding will continue, and it will go directly to the states. It won't have to go through the bureaucracy of the Department of Education. So I think he could operate definitely more efficiently, and the governors are all on board with that.
But education advocates argue that the department plays a crucial oversight role in making sure state education budgets aren't cut and that the civil rights of students are protected. One advocate calling this order a sledgehammer.
You don't get angry at the thermometer when your kid has a fever. You know, that's what the federal government is. It's the thermometer to tell us what ails us, whether or not our kids are educationally healthy.
Joining President Trump at the event, a number of Republican governors, including Jeff Landry of Louisiana and Greg Abbott of Texas.
We believe that we can spend that money much better than Washington believes they know how we should spend the money.
This was a topic before he was elected president the first time, and we finally have a president who's delivering.
Now, the union representing many of the Department of Education employees said that this was an illegal overreach, while one of the biggest teachers unions in the country, the American Federation of Teachers, wrote simply, "See you in court." Reporting here in Washington, I'm Evan Kozlov, Spectrum News.